Hello, so welcome to another motorcycle review. This one's a little bit different, and actually it's quite a sad day because this is the last day and the last ride of my Honda CRF250L, a bike that I've enjoyed enormously over the last 12 months and 2,500 miles. So yeah, it's my last day with the Honda CRF250L. However, the good news is that my Honda CRF300L has finally arrived. So I'm currently on my way to Newcastle to Honda Newcastle Motorcycles, and I'm going to pick up my Honda 300L in around an hour's time. So what I'm going to do in this video is, because I'll be riding the bikes essentially back to back, I'm going to be doing a comparison of the main changes from a rider's perspective. So I'm going to see if the changes on the specification, you know, the weight, the handling, the slimness of the tank, maybe the suspension as well, and of course the power, whether they actually make any kind of palpable difference to the rider. So I'm going to try and do that comparison over the next few days. So that might be helpful if somebody is looking to buy a Honda CRF300L or looking to trade their 250 in. So hopefully that works, and there's going to follow a few more videos after that. Okay. Okay then, so the weight, how does it compare to the 250? Well, to be honest with you, you know, when you're kind of like moving it about and stuff in the garage, or, you know, just walking around with it, it doesn't really feel any different. It feels exactly the same as the 250, really, to be honest. However, where it does feel different is when you're on the rougher stuff, and it really does feel a lot lighter on its wheels, if that kind of makes any sense. Now, whether that's down to the weight or the revised frame, not really sure. But I can definitely say when you're on the rough stuff, it feels lighter on its wheels, and it's a lot more easier to manhandle and manoeuvre when you're on the rough stuff. So I think that's a definite positive over the 250 and a definite improvement.
A Honda is easy to ride. Even your brother-in-law can master it in minutes.
Okay then, the $25,000 question, I guess. The engine and the extra power, is it worth it? Well, thinking about the 250, where, you know, the engine didn't really come to life until you'd kind of got up to about 7,000 revs, and even then, you know, it'd kind of wake up in the way that a sulky teenager wakes up on a Sunday morning, you know, so there still wasn't that much there. But with the 300, what's happened is all of the power has been shifted a lot lower. So now you've got usable shove from around 4,000 revs all the way up to, you know, 5,500, noting that I'm running it in at the moment. So that makes the bike a lot more usable and a lot more fun off-road. So now you can really, you know, squirt the back end round from about 4,000 revs in pretty much any gear, and it will pull any gear at 5,000 revs. You know, which before, you know, top gear on the 250 was kind of, you know, a bit soporific, but now top gear on this is absolutely usable, and also it's a bit higher. So 5,000 revs on the 250 in top gear used to be 50 miles an hour. On the 300 it's about 53, 54, and likewise first gear, 5,000 revs on the 250 was around 15 miles an hour. On the 300 it's 13 miles an hour. So you've got kind of a lot more usable poke, you know, in your right wrist. So it's a lot more easy to use. It's a lot more fun, and it's a lot better on the road as well. So, you know, you don't feel as though you're running out of power when you're going into a headwind, which sometimes you used to do on the 250. Sure, it's not a rocket ship, but the power is a massive improvement over the 250. And I think it's a much bigger improvement with respect to feel and riding than the specifications would necessarily suggest. So yeah, if you're thinking about swapping, and the engine is one of the things, and the power delivery is one of the things you're interested in, I would say that the 300 is a pretty big improvement, and a much bigger improvement than the specifications would suggest. So yeah, the mystery of the suspension. I mean, as you can see, it's still like really squidgy, but, you know, I've been jumping it and it hasn't bottomed out. So, you know, that is a massive bonus, so I can get some air. I'm certainly not going to get the whole shot because I'm shit, but, you know, I can get a little bit of air, which makes me very, very, very happy. And as for the brother-in-law, they can get lost anyway. You know, he's only got one leg and a bit of a watery eye anyway, so I don't think he'd enjoy it too much. So, is it worth swapping your 250 for the 300? I would say, in my experience of 130 miles, doing lots of lovely green lanes and things, absolutely. The engine and gearing changes especially have made the bike so much more usable, so much more capable and so much more fun. Again, as the specifications are written down on paper, they don't really sound like very much, but I can assure you they've really changed the character of the bike. That combined with the fact that although the suspension is just a squidgy, it's not actually bottomed out yet. It just makes the bike so much more usable and so much more fun. So, am I happy that I upgraded? Absolutely. An unqualified yes. It's brilliant. I love it. Cheery bye. Well, I would say, despite the specification changes sounding relatively small, what it has done, it's moved the bike probably like 5 to 10% more closer to being an off-road bike. I mean, in no way is it an enduro bike, and of course in no way is it a motocross bike. But the changes, I think, have just made it so much more better and more focused, for doing the kind of trails that I like riding on. A lot of that's down to the power. Doesn't sound much on paper, but it really works with the gearing, and the seating and the riding position in general just feels that touch more aggressive, and I think that just really works. So I'm 30 miles in, and from a comparison perspective, I think it's really moved the game on. God, 1st of May and it's bloody freezing.